Oh, yes, we're live and the chat's already here. Thank you guys for checking in. Look it. Hello, is this thing on? It's on. I think it's working. Just always tell me at the very start of a show, message me and say, I hear you, I see you. That tells me it's working. Oh, yeah, let's go. I actually have a bonus video to show you guys of me going to McDonald's. For whatever reason, I couldn't get it approved on YouTube. It's working. Okay, good. Here, I'll play some of this video and you can tell me, is the sound, it shouldn't not be coming through, but I don't know if it is or not. Can you guys hear that video here? Can you hear this? Because I have a different sound for the videos and for me is all. But I'll be talking over the video anyways, because I think the sound might be what's giving me trouble with YouTube, because I ran an old Trump commercial on here. You're live, no audio on Trump. Thank you, Spy Guy. I appreciate that so much. You guys are very helpful. Okay. At the very start of this show, I'm going to tell you guys, I've never done Venmo before. So the beloved Miss Tenaple works for me. So I asked her, she's been working on the channel. Like, she does a lot of the kind of behind the scenes work of prepping videos and loading them and getting all the description and all the chat and all that figured out. And I'd like to pay her, but you guys are going to pay her. I did a Venmo. Link is in the description. Anything you donate, it's going to her. Of course, we're joint account on everything. So, it just helps pay for the channel is all. But we came up a little short yesterday on my goals in my budget. So I'm leaving it up to you. If you want to do a Venmo, I've never done Venmo before. I've never asked for a Venmo donation, but Venmo donations are open in the description. You can surprise us. Super chats work too. That super chats are for when you guys want to ask a question and get it on screen. Now, we're going to talk about Trump dominating Kamala. This is a brilliant cultural move. I know it's a big nothing to Trump. I mean, I don't know if he was there for like 30 minutes or what, or however long. I don't know if it was an hour or a whole day or 15 minutes, but it shows the penetration that he makes when he gets into the culture. And we're in a culture war right now. And that's part of what I'm talking about also. I did a couple of videos today on this. We're in dire times. The left is already suppressing free speech. They've had the government clamp down on it at the government level, which is some form of illegal. I mean, it is so, it'd be no different than the state putting together an official church and saying, we're now doing an official church state. This is the government run state. That's how big of a breach it is for government to encroach on your free speech and on our free speech. Now, the left is doing it at an unprecedented level. And the left is doing the government's bidding. In some cases, direct bidding regarding Facebook. Indirectly by, the government doesn't have to suppress free speech. They can just have all these social media outlets suppress the stories they want to suppress, and plus and emphasize, say in a search term, the candidate and the terms that they prefer, and all of the media falls into place. Here's it's been a while. There you go. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've done a live stream, that's for sure. Sebastian Wojda, welcome. Trump must have put soy in the special sauce. The left is freaking, yeah, and it's getting worse. So this is the way culture works, guys. They float out, both sides float out a kind of an attack or a defense. And then you see how much of the mob kind of catches it and runs with it and spreads it all across the YouTube, which is why on Twitter, we tend to just replay each other's news and repost it. You're trying to make a news piece stay viral, stay relevant, expand. And so you can't have just one person post it and then nothing else. The story will die. So you repost it. But what the left has, their backlash against Trump at McDonald's grew today, and there's a lot of lefty people that I look at over on Twitter and just watch them all just completely fall apart. You have to, for those of us who are Trump fans, if you want to put yourself in their shoes, and I always recommend empathy. Empathy would be if they rolled out a Kamala wanted to prove to Trump how good she was at working at McDonald's, even though she never did, but she claimed she did. But she said, I'm going to work at McDonald's and I'm going to show him how it's done. And no matter what she did, she danced at the fries and she cackled a lot. And the left just went nuts with that story and said, see how great she is. See how amazing she is. That's what we did with Trump. And then your response would be, holy cow, are people buying this garbage from this liar? You know, that's what they think of Trump. They're wrong. And I'll tell you why, because in this, I'm going to show this video in the background here. Let's play this video while I talk. I actually need to bring the volume down on the main video so it doesn't echo in here. But this is the video that I couldn't get posted. So I'm just going to play it for you guys, but it has Trump being all kind to the civilian people. And I'll continue to get to your chats too. Here's hello from UP, Michigan. Democrats are evil. You know what? Hello from Denair, California, Randy Humphreys. There you go. Now, Denair, California is my hometown, guys. I moved there in 4th grade and graduated high school at Denair High School in 1984. So I have a country background. There's Trump actually working the fryers. Now, he's done these kinds of things on TV shows, you know, the hidden boss type stuff where he's joined his cleaning crew at Trump Tower, and I've seen him clean. He didn't want to touch the toilet, which is funny because Trump is a touch freak, like a germaphobe. I mean, here's, yes, the free speech problem is absolute fascism today, administered by the left. There's Jason Finch. Hello, my friend. Dr. Salty. There's Video Stash. Remember what happened in 2020? Frog Doug kept saying over and over, every state was flipping. And it's true. The results will be overturned, etc. I love you, Doug, but we have to beware the frog. I think that's entirely fair stuff to say. I definitely stand by all of that. And this year I'm doing a lot of posts about, you'll see that my vernacular of states flipping are now being repeated by all kinds of pollsters too. It's all over the place. Anyways, this is me at the drive-through. I ordered a 20-piece nugget and I always get hot mustard and I divvy them up for my family. You know, everyone gets some and some fries. And I got a Big Mac for me too. I slid one in there. Hello from Canada. I just got my 3rd ex-Twitter account nuked. Yikes. I know those are reporting tons of conservative accounts. Well, I don't want to ask what you posted, but I know you have to do something pretty big time to get nailed on X these days. Hit that like button for Doug. Terry Moore. Oh, so correct. If you guys like Trump at McDonald's, give us a like. We'll show you more. So, okay, that's more a lot of the public stuff of him working McDonald's. Now, I worked at Wendy's. I did not work at McDonald's. That's me making my order. I did not work at McDonald's. I always wanted to, but in Denair, it's actually the McDonald's is in Turlock. And in Turlock, I applied for a grill position probably around 1983, and there were 120 applicants. That's how bad the jobless rates were in those early Reagan years when we were trying to work our way out of that Carter malaise. It's going to take a while to recover from Biden and Harris too, by the way. Now here's a $5 super chat from John Bobbitt. Thank you, John. Voted straight R Friday night in North Carolina, my man. That's exactly what I did, by the way. I voted today early and I just go straight Republican down the ticket. I have never put an X next to a Democrat, knowingly anyways, ever before. This is when the lady tried giving me 20 nuggets and there was no sauce in there. I'm like, how could you pan all those nuggets off on me with no sauce? So there's Trump taking down the Hamburglar. I love that video too. He's beating him up. Yep. He took out the Hamburglar. What I'm saying is that Trump, like McDonald's, is already part of his culture. Like he eats multiple Big Macs. He is known for buying McDonald's for all of his security detail. He buys everyone McDonald's anywhere he goes. When he goes to McDonald's, he buys a whole crew. And that reminded me so much of my dad because he would go like, "Who wants McDonald's?" And he would buy McDonald's for everyone in the room. If there was a funeral, sometimes he would bring in just bags and bags of McDonald's, like just get 50 cheeseburgers. My dad, that's where Trump, who's a billionaire and can afford to have people just make him the most gourmet stuff, is very blue collar. He was always stacking up Big Macs at the White House all the time. Here's can Trump fix the ice cream machine at my McDee's? No, I believe that task is even beyond his amazing skill. The McDonald's ice cream and the shake machines are famously always down. They're beyond Trump. Glad to see and hear you drive live, says Ben Jenny. Thank you so much. Good to be here. Thank you guys for joining me live. There's Trump at the White House with all of his stacks of Big Macs, McDonald's sandwiches, fries. He got the whole deal for his crew. So he's not faking when he's going in to work the fry counter. Okay. Here's Jamie J. We should deport the urban criminal thugs. Well, that just goes without saying, or at least imprison them. I mean, if you're a criminal, you need to be in prison. Not Trump. He's not a felon. So he's technically a felon, but he doesn't belong in prison. I love their salty tears. Yeah, we're going to salt our fries with their tears. There's super fries. Yeah, that's what he orders. Big giant super McRib and a Shamrock Shake year round. That's the new promise. That's Project 2025, Terry Moore. I read one of the articles in Project 2025, and it was to make McRib and Shamrock Shakes mandatory, available year round. Who can remember the name of Grimace's uncle who represented the Shamrock Shake? You can tell me in the chat. How's that? There's a piece of trivia for you guys. Lil Panic. I was going to vote early, but homeschool and want to take the kids to see the process. That's a good move. I tried taking my youngest son, even though he's 17, so he can't vote. He's like, "No, Dad, I'm going to draw." There's Spy Guy. I don't know, people don't remember Trump working as house cleaner at Trump Towers. That's the one. He was a house cleaner, and it was really funny because he was really appreciative of his cleaning staff, and they were all showing him how to make a bed and all that and do the toilets and sinks. Oh, that's a Jink Uger quote. Let me pull that back here because he's always really good on the freak out. Let me go back a bit in the video so I can just read it right off the screen. He's been calling the cops on Kamala. Some in the press called Trump's McDonald's photo op bizarre. This is how you lose credibility. That's to the press. That was a home run photo op. He looked like a real person. They're connecting with average Americans. If you can't see that, you are totally blind. Now, I like Jink Uger. He's trying to help Kamala win. So's Bill Maher. They're going, "Look, you're terrible and you're doing terrible things, but I hope you win." I don't understand that. Like, Bill Maher needs to realize if he votes for Kamala Harris, she's going to end free speech. Now here's a Trump commercial where he's doing the $1 McDeluxe. And I really like this. I know it's going to sound weird, but I'm going to minimize it on screen because I think this might have given me trouble. There's the grimace. So Trump, even going back to that, looks like back to like the Home Alone days in the early 90s. He's doing McDonald's ads. That's part of his brand. He is duck to water at McDonald's. Here's give me a Royale with cheese. That's Pulp Fiction. Greatest troll campaign in history next to Pocahontas. Now that's true. It is a troll. Hi from Turlock, California, and Denair is our neighbor. That's right. There's my Denair Turlock people. They had that McDonald's there. I applied. I didn't get it, but I went to the Wendy's across the way. Over there on Gear Road, I think it is. Ooh. Now, Wendy's was terrible. That was a rough job. And I once made a triple triple because we weren't allowed to eat on the job. So I made a triple triple for myself. And I went in the back room and scarfed it and got absolutely sick. Way too sick. Trump, Vance, Musk, JFK 2024. I just did another JFK video that drops tomorrow. I can't remember exactly which channel it was for. Okay, so that's the end of that video. That's the Trump going to McDonald's video. We can do some poll work too. If you guys have questions. Wait, did I not get my super chat? Oh yeah, there it is. The voted early. Now, if you guys have not voted early yet, do vote early. Most important, if you can, all you got to do is find out where your local voting area is. Do not do the day of. Trump is saying don't do that. He's saying go in early. They need to bank your vote early. In fact, we went in today and the wait was maybe 20 minutes here in Franklin, Tennessee. It is best to get that done right away, guys. The earlier you do it, the more you're helping Trump. They don't have to go scour the streets and find your vote then and waste money in your district if they know that it's been captured. So go take care of it and vote Republican all down ballot. I voted for Marsha Blackburn here in Tennessee also. It was pretty easy here in Tennessee, of course. Everyone's going to the right. Okay. There's a hello, Doug, from Michelle Craig. Hello, Michelle. Welcome. Glad to join us. Are any of you guys interested in membership? Should I open memberships back up before this channel gets destroyed? It'd be like probably $6 a month, $5.99 a month is what I usually do. Glad to see you back here, Doug. All the happy people are sending my love from Mississippi. What I do with that money is I pay the bills. I have an editor who's helping me out, Jose, who's fantastic. And I'd like to get him a raise. How's that? Look at you have a little avatar. Arlene Herber. And there's Robert Christian. There's Dave in exile. Hi, Doug, from Southeast Asia. My Southeast Asia people, you stay strong. We're going to take care of the homeland and vote for Trump. All right? We're going to try to take care of you. What's up? I'm glad I caught you live. There you go. There's Thunderball McGillicuddy. Mrs. McGillicuddy. That's a Lucille Ball reference, I believe. The states are flipping, but for McDonald. Donald McDonald. Hi, Doug. Don't let your meat loaf, says Drawcab Gannick. Oh, look, here's another $20 super chat. Thank you guys so much for the donation. That helps pay the bills. I thank you for that. I appreciate it too. All super chat donations, they go to the top of the heap in comments, and I'll make sure that I'll hit every one before we're done with the show. If you guys have questions or comments and you want to get them on screen, this is how you do it. There's Denny Wong, and I thank you for that $20, sir. I wish Trump can move the narrative on illegal immigration from racism versus eating cats to class warfare, where the wealthy Democrat donors benefit from cheap labor at the expense of lowering wages for the working class. That is the bigger economic problem. But as you can tell already, Denny Wong, just in how long that is to unpack that, the illegal immigration problem, okay? And I don't care who these people are. I mean, I care about them as people. You know, these are probably tormented people. Even the criminals are, they're coming over here going, this is the easiest pickings I'll ever get in my life. Welcome to America. It is a disaster for our economy to have an illegal workforce or an underpaid workforce. And that is the pressure, Denny Wong, that they're going to use to get them to become voting citizens. And again, if they're going to come here and work, and if they're going to live here, remember, Republicans were guilty of this as long as Democrats. Ronald Reagan gave amnesty to a whole bunch of illegals with a hard cutoff, but they never built the wall. And that's the problem. You don't build that wall and you don't police it. You're just talking words that don't mean anything. But they undermine the entire economy to a point that, like, if I go and I need to get my rain gutters, redone, I'm going to go to 2 contractors and get bids on them. And the contractor that hires the most illegals and pays them under the table is going to have the cheapest bid. So now I'm going to go to him for business, right? And then the other guy who's overpriced has to keep bringing his prices down. So that's where illegal workforces destroy the entire, they're like a cancer on the entire economy and harming legal workers. They can underbid every legal worker. And I've worked with every kind of illegal there is. Okay. Back in some of my friends in Denair and Turlock out there, I've worked in the berry fields for Muller's Berry Farm out there in Denair. That was one of my first jobs in 8th grade. I was one of the only gringos out there. Wedo, they'd call me. And, all illegals. And they got paid under the table. That's how California always picked its produce. It's not right. It's not legal. It's what we did. But now to let in 11 million more is to exacerbate the problem. And as Clinton says, we don't have we can't replace our own society with how many babies we're having, which is just it's just a terrible argument to make, and immoral and illegal. You can't be a country that claims a rule of law. They're about to go after Elon Musk for misinformation on X. That law, they're like, oh, we have laws on the record. We're going to go push that. They won't go push the law that closes up the border and doesn't allow illegal migration into the country. Is just insane. And that has nothing to do with the people's race. I don't care if they're all coming from France. I don't care if it's 11 million people from France or 11 million geniuses from Japan. You can't have that callous of a view of the rule of law and then go and nail your citizens on every other law, like tax evasion. What if we were as loose with tax evasion as we are with illegal immigration and with illegals being able to work without paying taxes or ID? I say, let's loosen it up. The Dreamer Act that allows all of us to do tax evasion. Can you imagine? They're all, no. Hey, we're a rule of law. You're a Christian. The Bible says to obey the law. The Bible says to obey your leaders. It would be immoral. The Bible says to pay your taxes. That would be immoral. So the selective outrage on the law. This is something that the right, absolutely, we have to embrace, guys. The left only embraces the law when it benefits them. And then they're only going to use the law breaking. They're going to allow their own people to break the law. And then when Republicans do it, they're going to go after them. That's what the laws are there for to a Democrat. Now, to the right, I would like to say that to Republicans, the law is there no matter who breaks it. That would include trespassing on J6. Okay, that's a law they all broke. Doesn't mean that you go to prison for 22 years, but it means there is such a thing as trespassing, and we have to condemn that trespassing because we believe the law applies to both sides equally. It can't just apply to one side. I got a moth. What the heck? What is that? I got a little moth or a fairy floating around back there. Here's the Hawk, $2 super chat. Will we find a cure for TDS? No, and you're going to see a COVID level pandemic of TDS if Trump wins the election on November 6th. And my sense is he's going to win, guys, but that's just my own opinion on it. Okay. So don't, you hear me, guys, you hear me say, like an earlier comment was saying, hey, you said this state flipped, that state flipped. And Trump barely lost that one by a scotch, depending on your opinion. Now Trump is showing ahead of all those polls. He's showing ahead in all the early registration. He's got a narrower gap between he and Kamala Harris than Biden had with him in all of the swing states. So I'm only saying the underpinnings of it all looks good. It looks good. I live in Oregon, so I'm swimming upstream. I dropped my mail-in ballot off at the county clerk's office today. And yes, I voted R all the way down the ballot and no on all of the ballot measures. Good job, SD Sedona. That's what you got to do, guys. Get your ballots in, get your mail-in ballots in, vote in person. And of course, if you're a last-minute person, vote on election day if you're old-fashioned that way. But just so you know, it is a burden. And I think Trump would have won 2020 by a landslide if he had embraced mail-in ballots and early voting. It would have given him about 5%. And there's no distance that any cheating or any shenanigans could have done to make up for that. I think he would have absolutely smoked him, maybe even by more than that. So it's Republicans have always been slow to be okay with mail-in ballots, but that's not happening this election, guys. This election, early voting and mail-in ballots and voting registration is blowing up for the right, which is incredible. Yeah, I like to watch Polymarket. Me too. I report on Polymarket a lot. That's when people can actually bet on the election. And when they bet on the election where they can put their money, they're putting their money on Trump. It's like 60 or 70% now to 40% for Kamala Harris. It's getting worse for her, much worse. There you go. Christians need to get off their butts and vote, says MySpace Cowboy. And I totally agree. And there's a reason for it. I'm not trying to conflate the two, that religion and politics are the same. They certainly aren't for the right. I believe religion and politics are the same for the left because they don't have a formal religion like most of us do. But you have a duty. It's a covenant. As a citizen, it's like a covenant between the citizen and their country. It's not unlike a marriage. You have a covenant of marriage. Okay. Now, secular people can still get married. But it's still a covenant relationship. A secular person can still be a citizen, but it's still a covenant relationship. That is, there's obligations. One of our obligations is to vote, and there's no room. I just think, I even had a friend who goes, I don't know if I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris or Trump. And I just said, so I don't want to vote. I don't like either one of them. I go, I hope you'll make a decision and stand by your decision and go vote. I didn't even tell him who to vote for. He knows I'm a Trump fan. He knows that I'm way in for Trump, but I just said, it's terrible that only a third to half of Americans vote. And then of that half, you have us almost perfectly divided. Here's mail-in ballots don't have signature verification, therefore illegal. They may be, but they're legal. They may be unconstitutional or immoral, but they are legal, 100%. The states that don't require signature verification, like in California, you got to go vote. Some states don't count them during the recount, and that's true also. I just want to say, we've spent so much time on what is a ballot, what isn't a ballot, what machine, what line, what day. And I'm just saying, if the mass of Republicans and conservatives went out and voted, none of that would be a problem. None of it. There you go. There's a Polymarket currently 63% in favor of Trump. Thank you for that stat. I appreciate that. That helps my show out too, by the way. For those of you guys, if you haven't heard me say this yet, look, super chats, I always read first. Okay. I'm going to make sure I get through all the super chats if you have a question or a comment. Here's Bug versus Windshield for $5 super chat. Thank you. Bug versus Windshield. I think the Windshield wins. Portland, Oregon here. Vote Trump. USA is the last country for free speech. That's true. And I believe it's nearly fallen, guys. I think it's hanging by a thread. It's hanging by an election. We have to stay true out west. We can't run forever. That's true. There's still 40% plus for Trump. And especially in Portland, Oregon, I'm happy to hear you say that you're out there, because not all of Portland is loony. 50% of Portland is loony. 50% of Portland are conservative families, by the way. They're just not going to walk around on the streets with all the poo and needles everywhere in the camps. But most of Portland, Oregon is absolutely beautiful. It's a stunning town. Your commentary, you're terrific. Voting Trump tomorrow. That's right, my people. If I can get any of you to come out and vote, I will have done my job. And I'm here to remind you of that. You can find your poll. Today might be the last day to register, I think, in Pennsylvania. I'm not sure. I can't remember the stat that I heard, but they're going to start closing down early registration. So make sure that you get in there with your ID. Go to a polling place or go call your local representative. Super important to do, my people. Please. By the way, thanks for the super chats. Super chats go to the top. I do have a Venmo link down in the description if you want to make a donation. Help keep the lights on here, and I'm going to pay. The beloved Miss to Naples is going to get a little bump tonight. she's going to get, I don't mean that, you guys, where's your mind? I mean, she's going to get a bonus. Maybe take her to the spa. She helps with this channel, guys, hours and hours and hours a day, helps manage it so I don't go nuts, so I can just kind of make my videos. And the other channel, for those of you who know about it, secret channel. Denny Wong, $5 super chat. Can you help? Can we help you get your YouTube channel back above 560,000 subs? Here's the real key on that, Denny Wong. Thanks for the $5 super chat. I actually don't, I like subscribers, and everyone here should already be subscribed. Okay. I assume you guys are already in, and thank you for doing that. It does help multiply the channel out. Okay. It pushes it out, it touches the algorithm, whatever, but nothing is stronger than views. View every video I put out here every day, and on the other channel if you find it. Go to Twitter. I can't even tell you how to find it. I can't talk about it. Let's put it that way, but it might be showing up in some of your feeds. And my face is not on it. It helps more if you watch a video, and if you watch it all the way to the end. If you watch the commercials, it helps. If you watch multiple videos a day, it helps. If you send them out to your friends, that's a big help. But mostly, you guys are all doing fine just watching the video. So if I put on an entertaining video and you guys can watch most of it, I'm doing fine, and you're doing your job. And I can't thank you enough for that, guys. You guys really make this fun. Here's a $20 super chat from Shannon from Arizona. Thank you so much, Shannon. Going to throw you a curveball. And I got my LA Dodgers baseball cap. When they went rainbow, I tried unstitching it and pulling the stitches off, and I got tired of it. So I only got the top of the A off. Okay. What are your thoughts on Article 5, the Convention of States? Do you think it is a useful tool? Yes, I'll answer that. And what is one thing it could be used for to address any big issues the country's having now? I don't believe it could likely be used for anything right now, the Convention of States. Because the biggest problem is you need to have enough of a convention of states to make it worth something. So this is what it would take, say, for states to secede, or, split a state in half, or change a constitutional principle about the states. Shannon, I just don't see it. I don't see how it comes into play at all. We're not even close. When the country is 50-50 divided, it's actually, our system of government is brilliant, because when it's 50-50 divided, no one can do anything. You're not going to do anything with 50% of the people hardcore into a convention of states. Zero. Same with ending the filibuster. Zero. Same with expanding the Supreme Court. Zero. Same with changing the Constitution. Zero. You're going to have to get way deep into it before you can pull any of that stuff. That's my opinion on it anyways. And Shannon AZ, I haven't even heard rumors about anything like that happening. I mean, there's some nut jobs out there that I follow. Not even rumors of anything sticking that's going to work, Shannon. So that's not going to work. I mean, we can barely get the First Amendment to work. Okay. Look, the First Amendment is utterly enumerated. So is the Second Amendment, and we can barely get it to stick. Something that's already in the Constitution, clearly defined. We have a huge legal precedent. We have a huge tradition around it, like just every day, and we can barely even get those to stick. So I don't know how you get Article 5. Article 5 to go through. $5 super sticker from Mia. Thank you so much, Mia. Don't be shy. You guys can ask questions. Here's MV Space Cowboy, $5 super chat. Walk the walk for Trump. No excuses this time. None. Yeah. The people have to come out and vote, and the issues should make you come out and vote. And I actually do think Trump is manufacturing voters by his positions he's taking. And that's what's kind of weird, is it's very hard to gauge the country because we really haven't addressed many of his issues. I'll take one for a perfect example is RFK Jr. coming out with that MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. Now, health, how many people's bingo cards had health being a major player in this year's election? before uh, RFK Jr. came along. None. Now he's putting that thing front and center. And America has a 70% obesity problem and diabetes and all these other problems. I'm only saying that is the kind of issue that if it became a Republican issue, it could be a huge winner that drew all kinds of voters out that wouldn't normally come for even, say, free speech and pro-life and tradition or whatever. Health, everyone wants health and wants to be healthy. So I think the party should be racing for that issue. And I don't believe more health is moral. I don't want everyone to stop eating their delicious McDonald's McNuggets, 6-piece or 10-piece with one hot mustard and one barbecue sauce, and sometimes dunk them in both and sometimes mix them. I don't want to stop people from doing that. But I guess I just want us to be open to what issues could draw more voters out and because Trump is a populist. So you want as broad of a coalition as you can. And Democrats are getting more and more narrow, right? They only had one issue, and that was women's health care. You know what I mean? It's not actually health care. They only had one real issue they were even running on. And she can say, I'm giving away money for houses, but no one takes her seriously. You want to be the party where they take many of your platforms seriously, like secure the border, fix the economy, lower taxes, shrink government, and be healthy. We want a full, deep bench of issues so that people start looking at your party and going, right now, for the first time in recent history, Republicans are out registering Democrats. That is, we're starting to get like a +1 in some of the polls. That means we're creating Republicans, and the Democrats are uncreating Democrats because of how they act. Like Bill Maher is about to jump out of the party, even though he's still voting for Kamala Harris, which I think he's insane for, because he believes in free speech. Free speech is no longer a Democrat Party issue. Free speech is off the platform. They are hunting people for their words. They're going to broaden that definition of misinformation to be everything on the Republican platform, including what RFK says is healthy. You guys know how this works. This is a culture war we're in. But we never solve it with violence. I know my audience is not violent. It's immoral to go to violence where there's a nonviolent solution, and there is definitely a nonviolent solution. Get 51% of Americans to vote for Trump. There you go. Bug versus Windshield, $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Bug versus Windshield. I appreciate that. Do you think the Dems will try to use insurrection in January to try to disqualify Trump? Yes, definitely. And eventually result in Vance as president? No, definitely not. I believe Trump is going to be the president. If they did disqualify him and got JD Vance, that would be the worst thing that ever happened to the Democrats. I think they actually fear JD Vance more because he's a younger Trump. He's a younger, healthier Trump. So in a way, Trump did do what Biden did with Kamala and got a great insurance policy. I always thought he had a good insurance policy with Pence too. Democrats hated that guy's guts. They were terrified of him. So they're righteously terrified of JD Vance. And I'm happy about that. I do think Raskin flat out said it. He's going to try to disqualify Trump he put a date on it, on January 6th, 2025. He said, we're going to tell all the MAGA people if he wins that he's disqualified. That is, they're going to double down on that insurrection thing and claim that he's an insurrectionist and all that, and that he's not eligible. Now, we already know the Democrats will try anything. Now, depending on culture, culture is going to laugh them out of the room. And then they're going to, all the DOJ, and they're going to have their last ditch effort that last month in January of next year to go, just like the Trumpers we did in 2020. We're like, this is our last chance. Who do we have to call? What do we have to do? They're going to be calling and doing a whole lot more than anyone ever did on the right to try to disqualify Trump. And it's not going to work in the end, I believe. But that is where we see who's BSing and who isn't about the peaceful transfer of power. I'd like to hear what Joe Scarborough's commentary will be on that. When he says, like, Trump tried to stop a peaceful transfer of power. he'll go, Trump really should be disqualified, guys. All these Liz Cheney, all the people that said that Trump was an insurrectionist, they're going to all suddenly magically become insurrectionists, but call it the Constitution. That's what the Democrat does. They're students of Camus and Wittgenstein and all the postmodernists. Sartre. Jason Finch, $5 super chat. Thank you for what you do, Doug. Thank you for watching, Jason. It's my pleasure. Happy to see you guys here. You guys keep me company too. There you go. I was a big insurance VP pick guy. I had Vivek. Vivek, I was not a big Vivek fan, guys. You guys know that from my videos. I actually think he's brilliant. He's great for our side. I hope he's in the administration. I didn't want him anywhere near the vice presidency or the presidency. I just don't trust him. Here's Not Your Daddy podcast. $20 super chat. If we lose this, we will be like your trash can. Planet of the Apes. Right there. Let's get the trash can. Because you guys are live, you get a special view. And the super chat. This is I think it's a faux vintage, but Planet of the Apes. Look at that beautiful print job on there. Oh yeah, I got the gorillas on there. And then over here on a horse, Dr. Zayas. There's the orangutans are the philosophers. They're the Democrat elites. That's the orangutan. They're the disconnected Democrat elites. Thank you for that super chat, Not Your Daddy. Yes, we will turn into Planet of the Apes. We'll be standing behind that smoldering, melted Statue of Liberty and go, you did it. Oh, why'd you have to blow it up? Let's see here. Look, there's Nick Sonata. He's been with me for years, long time. Doug Tenepo, may I ask what your thoughts are on what Elon Musk is doing? Oh, Elon Musk is a genius. Elon Musk knows that if the Republicans don't win this election, he's going to jail. I had a graphic I put on a video. I think it comes up tomorrow, but it might have been today. Or it might be on my other channel. I can't remember now. All the videos blend together, guys. But it's every single one of his companies are being sued and pursued by different departments of the government agencies. Starlink, X, Tesla, all of them, all up and down are getting nailed. Neuralink. And they're from OSHA violations to, name it. But they're after him. Hundreds. Now, I believe if Kamala Harris wins and they oppress him and nail him for misinformation or for his donations that he's doing out in Pennsylvania. And I did a video on him. I put a link down below where you can do your own research. But people who sign up for his petition, he gives away $1 million a day, which is a sweepstakes, a random sweepstakes thing. And Democrats can win that too, by the way. They can all register. I mean, they can all sign up to his petition. And he's using it right now. Pennsylvania is breaking records with voter registration. And there's that other guy, the long-haired guy is out there. I can't remember his name, but he's doing incredible work, actually registering people at all of Trump's events. So all Elon Musk is doing is trying to help the election with his money the best way he can. Totally legal. I did a video where Kamala Harris was signing something this February that allowed students and people to sign people up and register voters and get paid to do it. But they're paid for by our government. Whereas Elon Musk is paying people out of his own pocket, that $1 million. He's paying them out of his own pocket through a PAC, Political Action Committee. That means Trump can't communicate with them about their strategy at all. They can't. You're not allowed to strategize or organize with a party. But Elon Musk goes, look, I'll take this, Trump. If he thinks he's a loser and goes like, I don't think you're going to win enough, I'll show you how to do it. And he takes a PAC and he goes off and spends all the money he wants. I think it's brilliant. And I think in the end, Nick, are you ready for this? I think in the end, we will all probably have some kind of computer or a chip either in our heads or something like that, or it can detect your brain waves and you'll do all the computer work. The computer will just be like an extension of your body. I'm not saying you'll be in a whole in a chamber or anything with the glasses on. I'm just saying the organic way to do it would be probably to have, like a necklace or something that can, hear your brain waves and send the image to your glasses, and it's a full computer experience, fully ready. And I believe in the future, we will have to have the walls that we will be put up will not be on the physical border down in Mexico. It'll be in your mind, where people will want to find privacy in their own heads. And I know it sounds outrageous, but just think about it for a second, where Neuralink is going and where everyone's phone is going. And I think in the end, people need a privacy wall around their lives, and the government is going to try to encroach on every aspect of your life. And if you think they'll stop at your mind, you got another thing coming. Who will the AG be? So far, the leader, Attorney General, is Kash Patel, I believe. My space cowboy, Kash Patel, who is fantastic, by the way. I really like that guy. Shout out from my California people over there on the front lines in hostile territory. Say a prayer, everybody, for Evan Edelman. By the way, California, I believe, has more conservatives in that state than any other state. They're just outnumbered by a bunch of lunatic leftists, for population purposes. Great movie. Charlton Heston's final line, says Todd Capon. Thank you. Okay, let's get down the list a little farther here. Here's long. What's this one say? So true, Doug. Voted for Trump on Friday. California here too. There's my vote on Friday. Golden Blau. Thank you so much. Golden Blue, Golden Blau. Good work getting your vote in early, guys. That's what we need. Yes, love Kash Patel. There he is. And there they are praying. My dark MAGA people. Sabrina G. Thank you for joining us, Sabrina G. And welcome, guys, if you're just now coming on the show. Welcome to Doug in Exile. Welcome to the Doug TenNapel channel. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thanks for giving us a thumbs up. It pushes this video out. The more thumbs up and the more comments. I love hearing from you guys in the chat. And you guys are a chatty, kind audience anyways. I notice you guys are very cool to each other. We always have a few cranks, but there's so few of them, you barely even see it. Flynn for AG, I'd like to see him over at the Pentagon doing something. One of our generals would be great. Scott Pressler, there you go. MV Space Cowboy. He's the long-haired guy who's registering people at all the Trump events and over in Pennsylvania, especially. We're really hitting Pennsylvania hard. There's a lot of money going into that in advertising and get out the vote and the lawyers going over there and all that. Trump is ready. I'm pretty convinced we're going to be fine over there. I'm voting in the morning, says Sabrina. Thank you, Sabrina. Good job. Get your vote in. Vote early in Virginia. Thank you, Kathy Beatty. Good job. All my people are getting in their votes. You gotta bank them, guys. You want to get off those vote. You want to get your vote in so that they don't have to come hunt you down and get your vote. Glad you're back, Doug. Yeah, it's a miracle that I'm here. While it lasts, I'm going to have a great time. St. Louis for Trump. Pedley, California. I haven't heard of Pedley. What about Mike Flynn? We can't forget him. I love Mike Flynn. I just want to see him at the Pentagon. That's all. Love your content, Doug. Should have Earthworm Jim do an animated MAGA series. I don't own the rights to my own character. That's the problem. Or I'd have done a million games by now. Here's Angie Jack. I'm in Arizona and I'm going to vote early in person tomorrow. Good job. You're only a day behind me here in Tennessee. I voted today. Dropped my sticker somewhere. Good day, Doug. Enjoying your content from the East Coast Penal Colony of Australia. Rick Nielsen. Welcome, Rick Nielsen, all the way from Australia. Thanks for checking in, guy. Appreciate that. There's Houston, Texas. Get out the vote and vote red. That's true. We're all doing that for sure. There's Torpedo Law. The 7th went missing. There's a Deep Talk Show. I've seen hats that come with a ponytail in the back. Does that hat come with it in the front? Oh, now what is this? Are you making fun of I didn't shower today. Look at this, guys. It's getting a little, when I work this hard, I can't take the time to get a haircut. So it gets pretty, I got to put in fact, I didn't shower today. TMI. So I've got the hat on. There we go. Ponytail in the front. How dare you? Jeep Talk Show, how dare you? Who's going to certify the election this year? Yeah. I don't even want to know, guys. It's going to be a mess. Voting tomorrow for Trump and Ted Cruz, says Nitro Country. There you go. Good job. Yeah, we need to make sure, Ted Cruz, they spent a lot of Democrat money against that guy. I voted in Texas. Good job. That's my patriot, Karen. Good job. I live in Massachusetts. What are the chances of us flipping? Now, Robert Christian, there's very few people where I'll say their vote doesn't count. Among them are Republicans in California. Massachusetts, oof. I talked to my buddy Neil Johnson too, and he was going, yeah, New Hampshire. I'm going, I don't think so. But maybe, hey, you know what you don't know is there could be a giant landslide brewing. This could be a Reagan thing where Trump takes 49 states for all we know. So I don't want to, you have to vote. Okay, Robert, Massachusetts, get out there and vote. You got to represent. San Jacinto, California for Trump. There's my people. And Steve Garvey for Senate. There you go. I once went to I don't know if it was the Dodgers or Angels. I think it was a Dodgers game. Yeah, it was a Dodgers game. And Steve Garvey was sitting right in front of me with his family. And I said hi to him. This is before he ever wanted to run for office. I voted Wednesday the 16th and it sure felt good. Trump, Steve Cuffs. Yeah, guys, just get it out of your system. Okay. You don't have to worry if you get it out of your system. Doug Tenaple, why are lefties so susceptible to misinformation? Now, here's my theory on that. Lavel, Coriander. I think everyone is susceptible to misinformation, to people they trust. Now, the best thing to ever happen to conservatives or Republicans is we do not trust as many institutions as Democrats do. Democrats take over institutions before they can trust them, and they take them all over. Now, mass media, right? Who trusts mass media more? They flat out did polls on this. That we tend to, we're susceptible to people we believe, okay? So they know that all the liberals are running mass media, so they're more susceptible to that belief system, to that false information. Now, if every single university was conservative and Christian, or every single TV channel was conservative and Christian, if all Hollywood movies were conservative Christian movies, we would be more susceptible to the line, the basic message that they were putting out. People want to be our sheep and they want to be programmed. And so we have the luxury of being in the opposition to the pipeline. We're lucky to be that pipeline of information. We're lucky to be on the opposition to Big Brother. The Democrats, I hate to say it, but they're on the side of the Leviathan, the state, the Big Brother, to culture, to big media, to computers, to Google, to Amazon, every Hollywood outlet, Netflix, Disney Plus, every university, 92, I think it was like 95% Democrats teach at universities. So now the experts, the people are going to judge misinformation, the people that judge what science is real and what science is false, they're politicized, they're leftist. So we are lucky enough and luxurious enough to know not to believe them. They don't. Democrats don't. And that's my explanation for it anyways. I'm sorry for going on so long on that. That's my theory. Here's anonymous source, $5 super chat, $4.99. Thank you. Doug, do you truly believe it will be too big to rig? Yes, I do. How confident are you feeling about a Trump win and why? Okay. I will say I am 70% sure Trump will win, and 30% I leave open for Kamala. Okay. So I believe it'll be too big to rig because I believe, first of all, it is a near. Now, many of you guys are going to get on me for this, and you're not going to like this, but it is nearly impossible to rig. Nearly impossible in this country. The way the current system is, I'm looking it all up. I'm not saying, I have mixed feelings, low confidence on 2020 of what happened or what didn't happen, but I really don't think, I think Biden legit won. Now everyone's going to unsubscribe. I think people were dumb. I think too many people really thought that he was a normal, safe candidate. I think people believed the lies that Trump was bad. And I'm talking about the middle now. I'm not talking about MAGA. Obviously, no one on the right believes that. I'm talking about the middle that decide every election. It's about 10 million people, guys, decide our elections. 160 million votes cast, 10 million people in the middle decide it. I think those people believed that Trump was evil and said, we better get this Biden thing. And now we've seen Biden for 4 years be a massacre. And I believe those same 10 million people, and I mean nearly the exact same 10 million people, will flip their votes to Trump. I think they're going, fool me once. I believed your lie that he was bad. I saw something so much worse happen over the last 4 years. This is an embarrassment. I'm going back to Trump. And I believe Trump will win in a landslide, not just all of the swing states. But I mean, I think he's going to dig deep into Democrat territory. And you even see it playing out already. Kamala Harris has pulled some of her ads, like in Wisconsin, to put them over in Pennsylvania. Trump is digging into way deep into the South and into her territory. It looks like we're about to flip Nevada. Nevada is coming out. Pretty sure it's already flipped. The polls are we're waiting for them to shake out. The polls are actually behind where everyone's at, by the way. Everyone changes their opinion a few weeks earlier, and then by the time the polls hit them, it's usually later. It didn't happen that day. So I think we're looking at poll results from people changing their minds over the last 2 weeks to a month. And if you look at that trajectory on Trump's going up and Kamala's going down, it's so steep. His upward trend is so steep. I believe that's the middle, because how can Trump create more MAGA voters? He can't. We're already all fans. We're already on board. So he didn't go, this trajectory isn't from Trump gaining MAGA supporters. This trajectory of him up and Kamala down are centrists leaving by the millions from the Democrat Party to the Republican Party. And that's what's giving him a spike in polls. So there's no other explanation for it. If you look at the science of polling, the science of ballots and things like that, the rigging thing we'll see on election day, but I'm telling you guys, I really believe you're being mass misinformed on the paranoia about that rig. And I only want to put out this other caveat before you throw me under the bus. I'm telling you guys, I get that there is a percentage of squish and flop in every election. I'm not denying that. I'm only saying that the squish and flop is not entirely for one party. I know that we have millions of people too many on voter rolls and need to get taken off. I know machines are wanky and I don't trust them. I know I only trust a day of paper ballot, but we don't have the luxury of doing that this election at all. And if anything cost Trump that 2020 election, it's that he did not embrace mail-in ballots and early voting. I believe it would have made up the difference. It would have given him 5%. When he's losing some states by 11,000 votes, he'd have nailed it. Okay. Now I get it. All the stop the steal and the cheat, and they'll just cheat more and all that. I don't ever repeat those statements. I don't believe in them, and I don't think they're helpful either. I think Trump could lose if he comes out and puts distrust in early voting. He would lose. Let's put it that way. How confident are you feeling about Trump win and why? Like I said, I believe the backlash against Biden is what's going to put Trump in office, because Trump was a known quantity before. They did these 5 lawsuits against him. He only gained popularity with each of those. The mugshot gained popularity. Shot once, aimed at twice, gains popularity. Everything Kamala Harris is trying to stick to him isn't working with the middle. It works with the left. It does not work with the middle. And the middle's all I'm concerned about. 10 million people in the middle are going to decide this thing. Because the rest of us, you have 46% for both in each candidate's pocket. That leaves, what is that, 8% in the middle. So I'm saying 10% in the middle. We'll decide this thing. I'm feeling incredibly apprehensive. Well, anonymous source, I'm apprehensive and I'm terrified. My country, is hanging in the balance. It's, but this should bring you peace. I'm going to give you peace. Americans, we vote for our leaders. And if Trump wins, there's almost nothing Kamala Harris could have done to have beat him. And if Kamala Harris wins, there's almost nothing that Trump could have done to beat her. The only thing that really could have helped is if we picked a different candidate. And we all saw how Trump was picked. He was picked fair and square. Kamala was not picked fair and square. And I think that's the biggest blight against the Democrat Party, not just to call them names, but if you think of evolution as like survival of the fittest, like literally the strong thing survives through all these generations or whatever, Kamala, they just threw her in. They could have picked, there might have been a way more popular candidate. Tom Hanks might have run, and he might have smoked Donald Trump, but they went with Kamala Harris. They broke their own rules because they're chickens, because they're a lawless, evil party, and I do believe that the party is evil. Killer Fuzz, $9.99, $10 super chat. Should I vote early in San Antonio, Texas? Yes, you should. Vote early. Always vote early, Killer Fuzz. Please do me a favor. And please, bank, get that vote in early, as soon as possible this week. Here's MV Space Cowboy, $5 super chat. There is a secret sect of Democrats voting for Trump. They're called the Bidens. That's the Trump joke over at the Catholic dinner. Oh, I believe there's more than just the Bidens secretly voting for Trump. I think anyone for free speech. I mean, Bill Maher should definitely secretly vote for Trump if he believes in free speech whatsoever. If you vote for Kamala Harris, you don't vote for you don't believe in free speech. I don't believe you. I should say, I have a really hard time believing you. Christian Vaughn, $10 super chat. Shout out from Petaluma. My Aunt Linda's out in Petaluma. My Aunt Linda, who I saw this summer. I love that area. Petaluma is beautiful. The beloved Miss Tenaple and I have gone in those mountainy areas and found California newts. We went newt hunting in the beautiful, I really do love Petaluma. It really is a beautiful town out there. Here's Joe, $5 super sticker. Thank you so much, Joe. I appreciate that. All these bills are going to pay the beloved Miss Tenaple a bonus. So thank you for that. Maybe not the super chats, but I have a Venmo opened up in the description. You can make a donation to that. That's going to her. For the first time ever, I finally set up a Venmo. It took about a year before I ever thought about it, but we need some donations to make up for some stuff on the channel this week that we're working on. Shannon AZ, $5 super chat. Thank you, Shannon AZ. How's Arizona getting away with letting illegals vote in federal election? Well, I don't believe, I'll put it this way. I don't believe there's any new illegals voting in our election. I don't believe the 11 million that came over the border. I believe they're nearly in hiding. And for them to come out and try to take a stab at a ballot, I don't believe that number is significant. I do believe in the next election, the 11 million will be programmed and weaponized to vote. No, I don't know if they'll go right or left. Again, let's stick to the issues. I'd tell them all, hey, if you're a religious Catholic illegal, get over here and say this in Spanish. We don't believe in changing the gender of your kids. You want the state to take away your kid and change your gender? Do you want, there's all kinds of things that they're against. They're against same-sex marriage. They're against, many of them are Catholic and against abortion. You could go down the line of these things and try and get them. But after they become citizens, I believe that if the Democrats win, they'll be citizens by 2028. If Trump wins, we'll deport a whole lot of them and they will have to remain in the shadows a little bit longer. Federal law prohibits this, correct? Sort of. Federal law prohibits illegals from voting. Only US citizens can vote. But states get to pick what method they use to check vote ID to make sure you're a citizen. And so all the Democrat states just go, we don't check ID. And all the Republicans go, we do check ID. So the only thing that's going to happen is, I guess the Republicans might keep a few Republican illegals from voting in their state. But by far, there's more Democrats doing it. And again, I have to really look at the poll numbers to decide, to know if that's the shenanigans going on. I'm just telling you, I think at voter polls, think of what illegals look like. Okay. They don't look like a bunch of albino elves, showing up. You'd have to see them in huge numbers. Like, you'd have to go to a swing county, let's say, a swing county in like lily white Georgia or lily black Georgia. And suddenly there's all these people that look like they're from Guatemala who are living on the streets or living in very cold, crowded apartments. Like 20% of the voters suddenly look like them. And I'm just saying it's very hard to pull off, guys. I believe the Democrats' big plan this year was to do the 5 lawsuits and to try and get Trump in jail, get him disqualified from the ballot. That's what I believe their big A game was this year. So I don't see the ballot stuff. Now they are trying to go soft on the ballot, but a whole lot of those ballot measures that were there in 2020 that we loosened up for COVID, many of them were reversed. I don't know about most of them, but many of them were enough to where it's going to be very hard to do what happened last time. And all the numbers are going Trump's way, guys. I don't see the bad news other than the general distrust that we have in any institution or system. And I agree with that. Okay. I'll never trust them. I'll never believe them. It's Ronald Reagan, trust but verify. We have to verify this stuff. Look, it's my buddy, Miles. Miles goes to my church and he has his own YouTube channel. I hope you guys will search for him and subscribe to The Miles Minute. The Miles Minute $5 super chat. Hey, Doug. Working on my YouTube right now. Good man. Hardcore Republican Christian conservative right here, guys. The Miles Minute. The Miles Minute on YouTube. The Miles Minute channel on YouTube. Thanks. Question. Do you think the left has enough power to get away with completely stealing election? No, I absolutely do not. I don't. That's why they say if it's not close, they can't cheat. And no one knows the numbers. Everyone believes even Democrats, everyone will admit to the dead vote and voter rolls and people voting twice and all that. No one knows how many. And that's a problem. Our voter rolls are just not that tight. And especially in Arizona, man, Arizona supposedly had like the messiest rolls in all of the United States. And that's just, I'm sorry, but now you got Katie Hobbs over there. I hope Carrie Lake wins. Pray for Arizona, guys. We got to get Carrie Lake back in office, or in office in the first place. Let's see. They tried to cheat in Butler. Well, just so you know, everyone is going to try to cheat everywhere. So that's my theory on it. If someone can cheat, they will. If someone can steal, they will. If they can get away with it, they will. So but that does not mean it's happening, guys, or it does not mean that it's happening. And again, we only care. I don't care if it happens if one person cheats. You only care if it's to a degree that it influences an election. And the only time that can happen is if it's close. So the worst thing in America that could ever happen is to have like a 50-50 vote where you win by one vote in one state. That would practically cause a civil war because of the arguing over the process suddenly. So, and this is also a problem with kind of both parties not being able to build their coalition. We need to expand the parties so that they can smear the other one in a decisive, absolutely decisive blowout win. And I believe Trump could get there. Well, I think the polls are right at that point right now, guys. He's only gaining momentum. MV Space Cowboy, $5 super chat. 51 former intelligence officials say Kamala worked at McDonald's. You're killing me, man. That is a joke about the 51 intelligence officials that said Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation that they ran before, and it didn't work. Thank the Lord. Wow, it's 9:45 p.m. That's my bedtime. I'm old. I'm allegedly. No, look at this. I got to bring this one up. Hobbs is a train wreck next to a dumpster fire on a collapsed bridge, says Michael Cooley. We're going to end on that great comment. Don't forget to leave a comment for those of you watching this in the after hours. I've got a Venmo down below where you can donate. Leave a comment and join our community. Wait, there's an holy moly, we got a new one here. Brian Cordoza, $20 super chat. See, this is also how you guys end up keeping the channel, keep the show alive by super chatting me. See? Okay, Doug, I'm your Central Valley connection, the San Joaquin Valley, my people. Hanford Dairy. Oh man, Hanford. I remember Hanford. I had a crush on a girl in Hanford in college. Dairy, Portuguese community. I had my Portuguese classmates all over school at Denair. And the three of us in our home voted Trump. Love you, Doug. Yeah, I have 4 kids, you know. 3 of them are voting age. So 2 of them went voting with me today. And I went to my daughter. I didn't want to insult her, but you can never be too sure when your daughter is always correcting you and whatnot. And I go, and she's always making fun of me for my Trump, YouTube channel. And I go, did you vote for Trump? And she goes, first of all, it's none of your business. And then she goes, second of all, of course I did. Like, what do you think I am? A liberal? Oh, that was a funny conversation. So daughters, there you go. My San Joaquin Valley connection. Thank you guys. Get your whole family out. Get your legal aged kids out. You got to do this. Okay, look, now they're throwing in the big money. Shannon, AZ, $50 super chat. Thank you so much, Shannon. That's very generous. Get you some pipe tobacco. Looking forward to your videos every day. Thank you so much. And if you guys have not heard of John Mike Keene, he's a brilliant guy on the internet. You might want to check him out. I'm Doug in Exile.